So pick the day, pick which color of the rainbow.
Nice.
So, we're seeing that, Judge Chutkin, who did get, Donald Trump's case, has said that she basically isn't going to lecture anybody, but she's lectured people. Julie Kelly's come out with that. And the fact that, just with all of these judges, they are victims. We were talking about that earlier with Dave Summerall. The juries feel like they're victims. You've got billboards up there saying, if you see something, say something. J6 was an insurrection. Going on 2 years, you have a sham J6 committee that's had virtually nothing that they presented for 2 years, but we're on every major mainstream news channel. And how do you get around that at this point if you're a defendant? Because it's so stacked against you, plus the federal government.
Well, Donna, I'll point out that not only do those people feel like they're victims, I believe there's a case the Attorney General of DC is filed suing someone in which he lists the very residents of DC as the victims, the plaintiffs in that lawsuit. So quite technically, there's a lawsuit where the DC residents are listed as victims in a case involving January 6th.
And that's all DC
Which
residents.
completely shows you can't have a real trial.
Right.
It's a joke.
What the judge says, that we've sat in these trials a long time, and we have told people for a very long time, you would not believe what these judges say in the courtroom about these people. And I tell people, you think that you're losing your rights, you think that you're going to go to court and you have these protections. In Washington D.C., you have no rights, you have no protections. So to answer your question, how do you get around it? I tell everybody I know that's going to court, that you're going to court, you're going to lose, and it's all about appeals. If it's playing out the way it is in DC, that's just the way it is.
Yeah. I mean, the judges are actually giving a lot of these defendants lectures on their politics. I don't understand how that can be the case.
Well, we just interviewed this coming up on this week's show this weekend. Stacey Hager. He said he was in the Capitol for 13 minutes. He got 7 months in the Bureau of Prisons, and he got a political lecture by his judge, who happens to be the same judge that Donald Trump is.
Wow.
Other people don't know that she's already recused herself from a Donald Trump case involving Cash Patel whenever he was suing the DOJ for documents involving the Russia hoax. She held on to the case for a month, and then she recused herself whenever she realized the case wasn't going to go her way. So she's already recused herself from a Donald Trump trial with a cause, so why should she stay on this one? And she was also
Well, I don't see why any of them.
law firm, by the way. She was literally Hunter Biden's partner.
Oh, she actually represented Hunter Biden, I believe, and his group, Burisma or whatever it was, in the law firm she was in before she was appointed a judge. What can go wrong with that?
Hey, I need to ask a big favor out of everybody in that warehouse. Angel Harrison just sent me a text message and said she is watching this live stream. I need everybody to make some noise and say hello to the Go to angelspatriotbattle.org. We don't make a penny off this stuff. We don't make a penny off of anything J6 related. Matter of fact, during our shows, we don't even run commercials that are Cowboy Logic commercials whenever we interview a J6 or a family.
So they can have more time.
We refuse to make money off of J6.
Thank you. And Donna, I'll let you guys know that you guys, not only do you give considerable coverage to the defendants, you also go down the rabbit hole, so a lot of people don't take the time to go down and figure out what really happened. So you guys do a really good job in the support.
Because all we care about is the truth. And if we find out the truth is an ugly situation for a J6er, so be it.
Yeah.
All we care about is the truth. That's it.
But the vast majority of them saw women and elderly getting beaten by police or getting shot with rubber bullets before they reacted. And many of them, being former military or police, aren't going to let that happen because that's what you do, you protect. And the fact that this could have been, that this was in many instances, the police firing on innocent protesters is reprehensible. And it was hidden for the last 2 years by this sham J6 committee
And the media.
and the media.
I think
They're
they were all-
complicit.
I think they were all in on together, like you're saying, Donna, but I tell everybody, if you were there that day, it's not like when the flashbangs start exploding by your head, and you sit and think about what you're going to do. And you see a little old lady fall over or whatever, just react. And most people just reacted in the moment and then, gotta hope themselves and act appropriately the rest of the time.
Well, and you've got a lot of these people that are facing 111As and Bs that were trained either as military, first responder, law enforcement. They were trained to react when a negative, volatile situation was happening. And they saw, the cops, Tom Webster said,
Yeah.
he saw the antithesis of his training.
Absolutely.
And when that kind of a thing's going on, these people have been trained for 20 years, 25 years, 15 years. Colt McAfee saw it. Something's going on that's wrong. They're there, and what they do for a career kicked in.
Yeah.
And that's why you got 72%, originally 72% of the, those incarcerated in C2B were law enforcement or veterans.
And Matt's a sheriff up in Tennessee, and Thomas Webster is NYPD cop, former military, stellar career in Fort Apache, the Bronx, never pulled his gun out, never had a civilian complaint. He worked on the mayor's detail. He trained people how to guard the mayor of New York City at the time was Bloomberg, and he got 10 years.
Wow.
I've never seen Bloomberg.
You guys,
Didn't that like garden leaving the beaver, bees and the leaving the beaver?
So bad.
you guys, reminded me of something when we were talking about Cole, if you don't mind me asking you to kind of bring it back.
Yeah, go for
We were
it.
talking about Summerall. We're talking about the GOP that we think are on our side, and, we still will lobby them and ask them to do things for us. But I can't get past the thing on January 6th where I tell everybody what we wanted to happen was happening before the first readings were breaking. The literal process that we wanted to happen was a congressman and a senator to take it and have them send it back to the state legislatures for the Constitution of the United States of America to decide. It was happening for us the way we wanted it to. And the police really, I got a little sidetracked. Dave Summerall was talking about the police and how violently.
How they stopped it.
Yes, that's what I can't let Captain's son, and I'm glad police chief's son is coming out and telling the truth about some things.
Yeah.
He has absolutely
Yeah.
covered up the thuggish, gang-like mentality his police officers exhibited that day when they got to go ahead and put up on Trump. And they were having fun, some of them while they were doing it.
Yeah, and it's starting to slowly come
Well,
out.
that's where that body cam footage will start showing that, and that's why they fought so hard to keep that suppressed. But, Georgia Congressman Loudermilk is doing a lot of good work with that, we'll keep an eye on him.
And, yeah, and of course, John Solomon, our Just the News on Real America's Voice, has been stellar at being at the forefront with a lot of this. It just takes forever to have to go into a room and look through all this video. And we've had some of our Jan Sixers actually telling us what exactly to look for, because they've been literally a captive audience for now going on 2.5 years. They've had nothing but time to look this over. They know exactly what to look for. And they talked with Don on numerous occasions to basically tell Don, once you see it, you can't unsee it. And Don sits in the living room looking at all this video going, oh my gosh, who's that? Oh my gosh, who's that?
Let me tell you something, Tommy. One night, I was watching body cam footage
Yeah.
off of Tao, okay? Tao's body cam footage. And I probably watched this for 2 straight hours.
And it flies around.
I actually got motion sickness. I felt, hold on a second, hold on.
Hey, we're getting a call.
Hold on. Hold on, everybody.
We're getting a call from a federal prison.
Jeffrey McKellar.
Recorded and subject to monitoring at any time.
Hold on.
So they're getting a call from
To
Jeffrey.
accept this call, press 5.
That's
To
all right.
You may begin speaking now.
McKellar.
How you doing, sir?
What a surprise.
What
Hey
an
man,
honor.
I gotta tell you, we are broadcasting a live show right now, and I can't believe you just called in. I'm gonna let you talk, but let me let everybody know who this
Let it
is.
go, Tommy.
Ladies and
Let it go.
gentlemen, we've got Jeff McKellar, Special Forces, retired Ranger, retired U.S. Army Ranger. After that, he went into a contracting with the State Department, CIA. I'm not gonna tell you which one will confuse everybody. He was a contractor. This man has devoted his entire adult life to serving the United States and keeping people like all of us safe. Now, on January 6th, he had top secret clearance.
A high security clearance.
He's calling us from a federal correction institution, and just so you know, Tommy, he cannot hear you, okay? Jeff, I'm gonna be quiet, and I'm gonna let you talk about anything you wanna talk about, because I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, when you flip the switch on Jeff McKellar, all you gotta do is sit back and take notes. So, brother, we love you. Welcome.
Welcome and have at it.
Good to talk to you guys. I wasn't expecting this, but hey, here I go. You know, America needs to start to wake up, man, because this thing, this whole immigration thing is out of control, and I was way been staffed up like a 50-meter pop-up target, and it came to me. I mean, this administration is trying to wipe out the American population. It doesn't matter what color you are or what your background is. They're trying to wipe it out and replace America with the socialist communist movement, man. If you look at where all these people are coming from here and their ideologies and their foundations, they're not coming from a pre-accepted nation. These people are coming from socialist communist countries, man. Nicaragua, El Salvador, San Salvador, Honduras, you know, Haiti, and all these other places. And they're coming here for the freebies, and they're coming by the millions, man. And I heard on the news, they're like, the last 9 months, did 2.4 million people, and they're starting to catch a lot of Honduran mothers with their infants and children coming across the border. That is unprecedented, man. This is out of control. And if people don't stay together, man, I'm telling you, one of these and Tuesdays aren't going to work. You need to come together and get out on the street and protest, because it's not, you're going to get wiped out if you're one or two. You need to get out there by the thousands, man, and demand this administration stand down and resign, or it's not going to work. One more administration, one more setup of the election, one more corrupted election, and it's over with. It's over with. But that's besides the point, man. I wanted to call you guys. I was going to give you an update on my condition, so I'm still waiting on my attorney. This is the full set of attorneys I've had, and they all refuse to look at the evidence. They only want to look at the DOJ, and what they gave me, these fools in the DOJ did not know what they handed me until I started looking at the evidence. I'm like, oh wow, man, I look cool. You know, look at Adam wearing. Wow, that's badass. You know, check this out, check that out. And then I started slowing down the video and watching it, and that's when I started seeing the people, man. And the undercover agents all dotted in the crowd, the crisis actors, oh my gosh, man, it goes on and on and on. The instigators, the agitators, and the motivators within the crowd, and the corrupt MPD that were beating innocent women and children. And it's all on video, and the DOJ gave it to me to have access to. And now I'm waiting on my attorneys to show through. Oh, Jeff, we're here for you. We're gonna back your plate. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. We're doing it with a football back. You know, and we got your system on the right, man, waiting, bring the information. They're going to show up, and they're not going to bring anything, and they're going to get fired on the spot. Voted no confidence with these geeks. I'm not.
This call is from a federal prison.
I'm done talking, man. Action talks, BS walks. And I'm telling you, man, I need help. I need somebody to come in here and talk to me. I need help, man. I need an attorney with a Senate home is bigger than the freaking Eiffel Tower. I need somebody to come in here, man, and look at what I am telling them. And I will point it out on the video. And if there's any curiosity inside their body whatsoever, they're gonna want to look at more. God, man.
All right, hey, hold on a second,
I
Jeff.
always hear your frustration.
Let me reintroduce you for anybody who's jumping in here late. We've got Jeff McKellar. Jan Sixer, retired U.S. Army Ranger, Special Forces, post-military career contractor with an agency. And he's going on probably 2.5 years now. He's not in D.C. anymore. He is in Texas at a medical treatment facility because, quite honestly, Jeff, I believe the only thing that they're terrified, in my opinion, of you entering a DC courtroom. Do you want to expand on that at all?
Oh, yeah, to be sure. Once I sat up there and I started to show them why, everybody knows how and what we did, but when I started to show them why, when Team 54, 64, and 74, the MPT showed up, they were ready to beat butt. Non-stop. They started as soon as they got there, and they did not end until everybody left the Capitol. And I saw Cal, Tatum, Crispin, Harris, Bagshaw, Augustine, Edwards, Riley, Hawkins, Harding, Smiley, Smith, Patera, and Glenn Lamborghini. You sissy Glenn, and if you're listening to this, you coward, I watched you beat that woman, and I took action against you and the rest of your cowards. So, how do I know these things? It's because I watched them all on video, man, and I'm going to show it to them in court, what they did, and the lack of responsibility that they're taking. Yeah. So, yeah. What was I going to say? I was going to say something else. That is so much. Oh, that is the syndrome that got me in. That is just a dude running through the upper tier naked, man. You ever see a grown man do the helicopter? It's pretty amazing. Before the guards flashed in on him and maced him and took him away. I'm like, yeah, that's just a quick dinner. Thank you. I'm the crazy one, right?
All right.
The thing is, they're trying to shut you up, and you have the highest security clearance on January 6th. They can't have that. And they're trying to prove that you're not mentally capable to stand trial. And it ain't working, obviously.
No, it's not. And I can't get an attorney to look at it. I need help. I'm begging somebody, anybody, please come and help me to get this information out. There is so much to tell. We have found so much. There's only 6 of us that know this information, and we came together like a legal team, and we started pointing it out in the crowd, man. It's just like the videos I showed you before, and I told you about, and the officers' names that I just mentioned. How do I know these people, man? It's because I've watched it all on video, and it's right there. The truth is there, but nobody wants to look at it, man. They keep blowing me up. They keep palming me off. And I've only seen my children twice in the last 2.5 years, and a total of 4 hours in a total of 2.5 years, man. Yeah, bad that hurts. Anyway, man, help me.
Okay. All right, hang on.
Always comes
Hang on,
through
brother.
with
Hang on.
you.
Hang on a second. All right, so you guys understand that Jeff is in a medical treatment facility because he was sent there for psych evaluations. He's had 2 that I'm aware of that probably lasted a combined total of 20 minutes, where they showed him Rorschach pictures and asked him what they looked like. I can tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, we are most certainly talking to a very sane, well-trained individual. He has been consistent in every conversation we have ever had. He has not wavered 1 nanoparticle. He is consistent. He is accurate. You heard him spew forth badge numbers of cameras and names of body cams. This man knows what he's talking about because he's got it all right up here.
He's a subject.
He's trained in their memory. They can take his discovery, they can take his notes, but they can't take what's in his head.
And that's why they can't let him testify.
I watched on video, Roseanne Boyer was beating death. Officers involved or had a hand in it are Morris, Powell, Hodges, and that skinny jean wearing Sissy Danone, Officer 1225 1543. And there was 2 other dudes that were standing right next to him. I watched on video the assassination of Ashley Babbitt, and there was a hand-in-arm signal and a call that came out. The officers pulled away from her. Michael Bird's hand came out and shot her almost point blank. And he was aiming for her head, and he missed her. He missed and hit her in the neck. Why did he do that? Because he was so amped up and scared they screamed and anticipated the recoil of the weapon, and it hit her straight in the neck. He pulled down and to the right a little bit, and that just comes from lack of practice. Anyway, there's so much to tell and so little time. Keep going. I'm sorry.
No, you, buddy.
It's all you, and
It's you. How much time you got left?
A couple of minutes.
Go for it. Talk to anybody you want to talk to here.
I want to give a shout out for all my friends, if I have any left, because we're not getting any postcards from those dudes. I don't know, man, America stays strong. You tell me, man, this sucks, this completely sucks here, and there is no help. I'm on an island all alone, man, throwing messages in a bottle, and only a few were picking them up, man, but you got the information's still good unless you act on it. You have to act on the information. At least look at it. Camera angle 0180 and 7250. They show everything that you need, man. And even though it doesn't look like much, you have to look at the actions of the players that are there. It was undercover, man, complete undercover agents. And these are guerrilla warfare tactics. And once again, the joke, guerrilla, not guerrilla. There's a different section, Ron. They were utilizing it against us, man. And Tatum and PLM were there, but they were dressed like us. They were dressed like Trump supporters, and they created havoc. And the Trump supporters made, and all they did was just strip off their skin and walk away and become another civilian again. But it's there. It's all there. And this administration doesn't want you to see it, man, but you have to slow the video down. And like I always say, once you find one, you know what you're looking at, and the rest will open up to you. It's too easy. It's too easy.
well, you've opened our eyes for sure, and I know it's horrible because you're in prison while you're waiting for all this to come out. Slowly it is coming out. We're seeing what happened with Officer Sicknick, that he was fine when they said he was, beaten to death. We're seeing Cannell, basically he didn't have any problem around Roseanne Boylan. That has finally come out.
Hold on, Donna. How much time, Jeff?
I'm not sure. I lost track.
Okay. Hey, before we get flipped, we love you, brother. We're standing with you, brother. And I've got your J6 Ashley Babbitt Star Flag waiting for you, brother.
That happens soon.
Let me thanks for everything that you're doing. Like I said before, I need help, man. I'm out here, dude. I'm running out of water and food, and I'm on this island all by myself. And I need help, man. And I can't get it from these people that are assigned to me. None of them are looking at it. The last guy, well, he's like, what was your fault, Jeff? I tell you to take this plea deal. This is the best deal, what, 8 to 10 years? Are you serious? He's like, well, we can talk it down to 5. I'm like, are you crazy? I'm like, get out of my face, you haven't even looked at the evidence. I'm like, and then he brings the evidence one time, he brings my discovery that he's supposed to be looking at, and he doesn't know what he's looking at. He's like, well, who's this guy right here? I'm like, what do you think? Watch what he's doing. And well, I don't see what you see, Jeff. I'm like, and he starts falling asleep. And I'm like, put it down, man, get involved. Take some notes for Christ's sake. Who are you? And this guy got there, and he's like, well, we need another $20,000 to get us over the next month. I'm like, I don't have $20,000. The kids can't go there. I have one of my friends start up for me, and I was saving the money for my children, man. So when my son goes to college, and my daughter starts school again in high school, and he talked to me and given it to him, and it was like $12,000 man, cash on the barrelhead. And we got about a minute left, man. And this is sad, man. I keep running into these lawyers that are doing this to me, man. They're like, for another 15 grand, we can get you over the next month. I'm like, I don't have 15 grand. Help me. You're supposed to be an American, you scumbag. It's like, all right.
No, I mean, you're not the only one, too, and that's the real problem.
Yep, we're hearing this a lot, man. We're hearing it a
God,
lot.
it's so frustrating. I can't imagine how you feel. Oh, I know how you feel.
Jeff, before we get flipped, man, we want to tell you that we love you, brother.
I love you guys too. God bless America, and hopefully it's still there when I get out. Max luck to everybody.
All right, buddy.
Jeff.
See you, man.
And now, you'll never stand it. You'll never stand again, man. It's better to die in your feet than to live on your knees.
Amen, brother.
Amen.
All right, man.
See you, bud. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Yeah, so,
How do you,
I just want to say real quick, you guys, I visited Jeff like 2 months ago, and he's saying the same exact things 2 months ago as he's saying now.
Yeah,
And the reason he sounds so frustrated is because he is trained on another level none of us will ever understand, and he sees it
Right.
unfolding, and nobody can fully, he can't even explain it to anybody. He gets these lawyers for 1 hour every once a month or something, and they do not care about what
Mhm.
happens to them. But I will tell you, the stuff he's told me, Don, I've seen Julie Kelly's reporting after she's gotten the footage that verifies everything that Jeffrey McCullough was saying about the equipment that the cops had being scattered around the crowd, all of that.
Yeah.
So he is right about what
Yeah.
he's saying. And they're right about that.
I can tell you this,
He's trained to see it.
and I'm extremely limited in what I'm able to talk about right now. I can tell you that Jeff McCullough spent 7 consecutive 15-minute phone calls with Dave Summerall and I when he was in the DC jail. The purpose of those phone calls, the sequential phone calls, was because Jeff McCullough was the first guy that came to me and said, "I'm going to testify in front of Congress under oath."
Yeah.
Well, obviously, we couldn't get that to happen. So I said, "Well, Jeff, I tell you what, you can testify to the American people." And we recorded 7 15-minute conversations, just like you heard that one. Except he started off on January 5th, and he went all the way to the end of the day on January 6th. And you can imagine how intense that was for 7 15-minute phone calls.
not just one now.
I cannot share with you some of this information, so I'm going to skirt specifics. But I can tell you that there are people that have listened to that audio file, and they have substantiated it. They said he's dead on balls accurate, if I can use a Long Island way of saying something there.
My cousin did.
He's dead on balls accurate. He's spot on. And you have watched reports on television that are based on information from Jeff McCullough. You just didn't know it, and I can't expand on that anymore. But I'm telling you, people are listening to what Jeff McCullough has to say.
He needs to
He
stay in
needs
court.
lawyers that are going to get off their asses and do their jobs.
Amen. And he's a good man. And if anybody deserves it, he does. He sacrificed, a little livelihood to the country. And he feels left behind. I know at points in times when doing the vigil and talking to him, he's a man of honor. And I know that he feels at times like he's had to stick his hand out and beg Americans to help him do what was right whenever he sacrificed everything for what was right. So, I don't know what else to say.
That's who you want. That's who you want defending you. We, the people. And that was what was in our military before it got woke. People like him, they're heroes. But the thing is, when he went overseas, yeah, go ahead.
Well, Don, you were talking about that 72%. It's almost like they intentionally targeted the best amongst us on January 6th, it seems like.
They might have.
Yeah.
Because those are the people that have probably gun licenses and were able to see what was going on through their training. And that's exactly what Jeff said. He said he could see a color revolution being done to the American people on January 6th.
I trust him. And not only do I trust him, I've seen the claims he's made come true and verified after the fact. So I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, months later. Stuff he told us months later started coming out.
He is spot on. Ladies and gentlemen, he had his cell raided. It's the only time anybody is aware of a cell in the DC jail being raided by FBI agents. They took a stack of documents out of they handcuffed him to a railing, and they took a stack of documents. That was a year of his work.
And now it's all in his head now. He's not gonna let it be written down, so they can't take it from him.
We'll keep praying. I know he's frustrated, but he's frustrated because he's got so much information he wants to get out to us, so the truth can be told.
Yeah. I mean, we talked to him and you heard it. He goes, ooh, you can just sense the pent-up frustration because nobody wants, well, a lot of people want to help, but nobody who can help is willing to help.
Well, and when we say anybody who wants to help, I know a lot of people are going to see this eventually. When he says help, he told me himself, journalists, writers, whoever's interested in the truth, go visit it. He's going to give you a fascinating story, I promise.
Yes, he is. He certainly is.
Well, what else you want to talk about there, Mr. Tommy?
I don't know how much longer we have, but I just want to say that we've been doing the corner with Mickey Whitlock for a year, Freedom Corner, doing the visual outside for a lot of these guys, and going to Congress, Capitol Hill, and I started to say this earlier. So on January 6th, we were getting our way until Ray Epps orchestrated the first breach, right? And these same congressmen that we're asking now to help us, a lot of them were in a position on January 6th to continue to do the right thing. My point is, if it was the right thing to vote to recertify or send it to the state legislatures, back to the legislatures, why was it not the right thing to do 6 hours later? And I bring that up because I think a lot of those same GOP candidates that we really like a lot are ashamed of themselves, and they know deep down that if they had done the right thing on that day, we wouldn't have these political prisoners in jail today.
No, unfortunately, I think the whole darn thing is just totally pre-planned. That seems to be the case.
Well, and if you listen to the Capitol, the ex-Capitol of the police chief, son, he alludes to the military being involved in it. I know Paul Gosar talked about subpoenaing military members. General Milley's running around on January 6th trying to tell China, don't worry about Donald Trump, I won't let him do anything. And Nancy Pelosi's trying to get the nuclear launch codes. It sounds like a coup to me. I mean, it really does.
You know, we were meeting with, we had a couple of speaking engagements last weekend that we were at, and we were trying to explain to people that knew very little about J6, the magnitude, the multifaceted different angles and different things going on, from what was going on down on the lower terrace, to what was going on up at the tunnel, to what was going on in the Capitol, to what's going on now in courtrooms, to what went on in the jails, especially the Northern Necks, the Alexandrias, and the C2Bs. There's so much. The juries, the prosecution, the judges, the victims, people being sued in civil court because grocery stores claimed they were damaged on January 6th because of a lack of business.
Meanwhile,
It is so multifaceted with all of the different charges, all of the different enhancements, all of the superseding indictments. When you read through these court papers, by the way, American Gulag is .org, I think.
American Gulag Chronicles.
No. The American Gulag website. You can go to individual J6. You can read a lot of their court documents. You can spend hours researching one J6 and not get past 3 or 4 documents. It is, huh?
You're hitting on something I was telling somebody the other day. It's like there's, and I hate we're in New York and the 9/11 commission happened here, right? But we really do need something of that scale. If you want to know what happened in totality on January 6th, who was involved in all the individual stories and everything, you have to have something of that scale to get to the truth, because I can tell you've done the research. You could probably start talking now about January 6th and not stop for a couple of weeks. I mean, there's so much to go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, you start going, one conversation will lead you to another, and will lead you to another, and will lead you to another. Ladies and gentlemen that are sitting in the warehouse, and ladies and gentlemen that are watching this stream, it is imperative that you talk about January 6th to your fellow friends,
Everybody you meet.
Whoever.
It's amazing how many people believe the BS that the mainstream media has fed them, and the sham J6 committee has fed them for the last 2.5 years. And you know what's really hard too is the fact that a lot of people can't admit, well, they might have been misled, or they might have been wrong. And I think more and more people are waking up to it, thank God. Even in so many different aspects of what's been thrown at our country in the last 3 years, with education, with the CRT, with the Jan 6 committee, with just about everything, people are starting to realize it's almost like whatever the government feeds you, the truth is the opposite. And I think if you look at it that way, you might open your eyes a little bit more, but you gotta have to be open-minded. A lot of people don't want to admit they might have been wrong.
I was telling somebody that earlier today, that no matter what, the government tells me something opposite. Tell me the world's around and it's going to believe it's flat. I mean,
Yeah.
to your point, I mean, with the whole stuff about COVID stuff, they want to admit that. They
COVID.
want to admit that,
Yes.
and they sacrifice their own children to this cult-like religion, in my opinion. So I don't think Democrats ever admit the truth. I mean, I just
They're not admitting that Russia was a hoax
right.
after how many years and how many millions of dollars they spent. They just will never, it's the same scenario. Everything, even with Hunter Biden, everything takes 2.5 to 3 years before it finally starts coming out because the media doesn't do its job. The mainstream media. Right, of course.
You know, one of the things that McKellar was talking about was watch the video, slow the video down. Once you see some of these actors, you're gonna see others. Here's what he's talking about. When you're watching a 30-second clip or a 30-second portion of a 2-hour video, go back and watch it again. And you're gonna start noticing somebody that's looking in the wrong direction. Everybody else is focused on one situation, but here's this guy looking another way. And I'm gonna tell you something. It's one way that I picked an Antifa guy that we talked to on our show, Landon Copeland. That's how I picked him out. He was an oddball. I'd see him standing there looking around. Everybody else is focused on something, and he turns around and he shoves Chris Quagland into a policeman.
Yep. And he got 3 years, he claims, because he had
Yeah,
a good
good
lawyer.
lawyer.
Bullcrap. They had to arrest him. No, they had to arrest him because he was violent. So they gave him essentially a slap on the wrist compared to what these other Jan 6ers are
But
going.
we got what we wanted out of him in an interview. It took us a damn hour. I'm telling you, barbed wire was shooting out of Donna's eyeballs.
I didn't want to have him on.
Let me tell you this, he admitted to us on the record, on air, that he himself was with 250 other Antifa members from his little group of Antifa, and he estimated between 1,000 and 2,000 were there.
That he knew of, pretty much.
They were there.
I know the whole story of Landon, and quite honestly, it does kind of hit kind of personal, because it was actually Batman's mother. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but somewhere he says that he was there to get Trump supporters killed or something to that effect.
No, let's make sure we get that right. That was not Landon Copeland, okay? But I'll tell you who it was, because we exposed him too.
Okay, that's
And we exposed him using his own court documents. That was Josiah Kennedy.
Yes, you're right. So my point being is we do take that personally, especially this other guy being Antifa, but we know why they were there. And, you know, I'm friends with her and we see, we lost people that day. You know, and if anybody wants to do that, then we hold them responsible.
You know what's so backwards is you've got like Peace Plaza, BLM Peace Plaza, or whatever it is now in DC. Are you kidding me? They're out there burning every major city down now for 3 years with impunity. In some cases, they're paid millions. Big corporations give BLM some $83 billion, I heard last. Build large mansions. That's pretty much it. The founders have, humongous millions are spending on houses for themselves, and they get away with it. They're getting away with it. And people have died and billions of dollars in damage. Nothing like at the Capitol.
It is disappointing because it is, I don't know how to phrase this, it's almost envious how, as bad as these people are, these Democrats are, and the things they promote to do, they're organizing and they're bailing their guys out of jail. While the riot's still going on, putting them back on the street, they're raising money for their lawyers, good lawyers, and our side doesn't stick together and do that for our constituents. They've had to scrape.
Yeah, but you know what? That's coming from the government. That's our tax dollars working against us.
Yeah.
You've got Kamala Harris up there touting how, she's gonna bail out these people.
Yeah.
It's our tax dollars. You can't go against it. That's the federal government, not just the Democrat Party. And the left, it's our tax dollars working against us.
Well, living in DC, I guess I've gotten jaded, but I see it every day. And, it is just an absolute inversion of what's justice, or what justice is supposed to do.
I don't know how you do it, man. I don't know how you stay in DC. I would need 35 showers a day.
I don't know how anybody who professes to be law enforcement doesn't enforce the law. Hello? You know, you even got sheriffs saying Jan 6 was an insurrection. How do you have an insurrection with a bunch of blue hairs and no guns?
I call it the water bottle insurrection.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much
I
it.
mean,
Yeah, founded at the Villages down in Florida. That's the home camp. That's the HQ for the insurrectionists, the Villages in Florida.
you
Hey,
know,
what if anybody from Florida's got a call from Ron DeSantis yet? Because most Jan 6ers are from Florida. Last I heard,
that's right. there's a lot of
zero
people
from
Florida
DeSantis.
that- But Don, I did want to tell you, so you started off like, why, you asked me why I didn't get arrested. You know, I did testify in my mock trial, so there's a transcript.
I know you did.
And, there's a lot of good stuff in that trial. When you get the transcript, you should really read through it. Because, I did
Yeah.
a lot of stuff on the record, kind of for the guys too, right? And, even you've seen my video, some of the stuff that, you know, when I fell down, that came up, and, you know, stuff I was saying and stuff. I think they thought they were gonna get me to perjure myself right there, and I didn't do it. And then, so I have told them everything there is to tell about what I did and didn't do on January 6th. So it's up to them at this point.
Yeah. Hey, there's one thing I want to tell you in closing, Tommy, and, people up there in New York may not quite understand the impact and the heaviness of the comment. But Tommy, I want to say, go Tennessee Vols.
They're gonna need all the help they can get.
Yeah, hey, you're from Alabama, right?
No, yes, keep it
Yeah.
classy, hotty toddy.
Oh, Mississippi, hey, same thing, man.
I'm
Same
sorry.
thing.
Being from New Jersey, I could care less about
Hey,
college kids.
Yeah,
If I was
Go
in the
ahead.
SEC, if I was in the SEC East, I'd say the same thing.
Hey, you're damn right, man. We always go to the toilet bowl.
I don't know. I went to Seton Hall and they actually abolished their football team.
Well, they ran out of flags. Seton Hall, they didn't buy enough flags to wear around their waist when they pranced around on the ball.
We drive past Rutgers when we're up in New Jersey and Don goes, is that a state?
As long as Tennessee gets into Alabama every time they meet, I'll still root for them.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, man, you know what? I've been to the toilet bowl so many times with UT, it doesn't matter. Hey, I don't have no, we don't have a time clock in front of us. How much time we got over there, Central?
Got a minute and a half.
Minute and a half, so we'll let you.
Minute and a half.
Minute and a
Okay.
half.
Joe the Bot's coming up here.
Tommy, you. All right. You gonna close it out, Tommy?
Well, Tommy's gonna be with us a couple more days. I gotta say that I
Okay.
love these
Good
Cowboy Logic people. You guys do with Cowboy Logic. My wife we watch you on the weekends, and I gotta tell you, you have me laughing so hard. But what I'm really impressed about is that this is not something you have to do. This is something you do for the love of the country and the love of the freedom and the love of the American people.
Yeah,
So thank you, Don and Donna, our two favorite Cowboys.
that's
Huh?
good.
Thank you for having us. And we look forward to seeing you on Thursday.
Your boss waving that weapon of mass destruction there.
Oh, I'm a destroyer. I love this country. We love
Okay,
Cowboy
you're
Logic.
welcome,
We're gonna
John.
do the roll call and we're gonna sing the national anthem in a couple of minutes. God bless you, Cowboys.
Thank you, guys, appreciate it.
Thank
See you
you.
later.
Thank you, guys. That was great, huh? Those guys are amazing.
Yeah.
We are gonna do a roll call. Can I have Tammy Perryman up here?
Can we go do it live?
Tommy's gonna, you wanna do it live or do you wanna do it
I thought you
live?
were talking about piping in the business.
You've already done it. You need a microphone too. Can we? Yeah. Steve, you still here? Or house mic? Yes. Can I get some flag holders too? So stand up here. We're gonna do the roll call. The roll call is the list of the prisoners that are being held right now in our gulag in Washington D.C.
Actually, the roll call is the list of detainees that are being held across the country. They're not just the guys in DC.
Okay.
Sorry, I just wanted to clarify that they're not all in DC. They're all of them.
So when we call a name out, we like to follow up with hero. And people that died for this country. Look at these people.
That's Patricia Aguino. She went into the Capitol on January 6th. She's an uncharged J6er. So if anybody wants to do a call to action, she was a neighborhood commissioner in DC,
Yeah.
and she brags about the fact that she was at J6, that she was inside the Capitol.
Yep.
Just saying,
Yeah, she's not a good person.
she's terrible.
Okay,
Time
let's
to
forget
go.
about her.
Okay,
We're gonna do the roll call.
for those lives lost on January 6th, Ashley Babbitt, Roseanne Boyland, Kevin Greason, Benjamin Phillips, and on the next day, Officer Brian Sicknick.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
For those detained, Justin Adams,
Hero.
Howard Adams,
Hero.
John Andrews,
Hero.
Tommy Allen,
Hero.
Kenneth Armstrong,
Hero.
Neil Ashcroft,
Hero.
Daniel Ball,
Hero.
Thomas Ballard,
Hero.
Logan Barnhart,
Hero.
Colleen Bauer,
Hero.
Roger Bow,
Hero.
Luke Bender,
Hero.
Joe Biggs,
Hero.
Aiden Billiard,
Hero.
Joshua Black,
Hero.
Matthew Bledsoe,
Hero.
Kenneth Bonowitz,
Hero.
Brandon Bradshaw,
Hero.
Nicholas Brokoff,
Hero.
Barry Brock,
Hero.
Jeffrey Brown,
Hero.
Jeremy Brown,
Hero.
Mark Brew,
Hero.
Alan Byerly,
Hero.
Daniel Caldwell,
Hero.
Stephen Capuccio,
Hero.
Matthew Caspel,
Hero.
William Pressman,
Hero.
Eric Christie,
Hero.
Josiah Colt,
Hero.
Nolan Cook,
Hero.
Mason Corson,
Hero.
Eric Kramer,
Hero.
Nicholas DiCarlo,
Hero.
Matt DeSilva,
Hero.
Nathan DeGrave,
Hero.
David Dempsey,
Hero.
Lucas Denny,
Hero.
Robert Dennis,
Hero.
Timothy Jargon,
Hero.
Michael Dickinson,
Hero.
Charles Donahoe,
Hero.
Israel Easterday,
Hero.
Michael Eckerman,
Hero.
James Elliott,
Hero.
Daniel E.,
Hero.
Robert Fairchild,
Hero.
Brandon Bellows,
Hero.
Kyle Fitzsimmons,
Hero.
Mitchell Gardner,
Hero.
Robert Gieswein,
Hero.
Vincent Gillespie,
Hero.
Daniel Goodwin,
Hero.
John Gordon,
Hero.
James Grant,
Hero.
Matthew Green,
Hero.
Timothy Hale,
Hero.
Thomas Hammer,
Hero.
Kenneth Harrelson,
Hero.
Richard Harris,
Hero.
Joshua Haynes,
Hero.
Donald Hazard,
Hero.
Albuquerque Head,
Hero.
Andrew Hernandez,
Hero.
Joshua Hernandez,
Hero.
Eric Herrera,
Hero.
Joshua Hughes,
Hero.
Jared Hughes,
Hero.
Brian Jackson,
Hero.
Shane Jenkins,
Hero.
Douglas Jensen,
Hero.
Justin Jersey,
Hero.
Daryl Johnson,
Hero.
David Judd,
Hero.
David Kaufman,
Hero.
Julian Patar,
Hero.
Matthew Kroll,
Hero.
Nicholas Lindgren,
Hero.
Joshua Lawler,
Hero.
Marcus Malley,
Hero.
Christian Manley,
Hero.
Cody Matisse,
Hero.
James Malt,
Hero.
Christopher Maurer,
Hero.
Mark Mazza,
Hero.
Ronald McAbee,
Hero.
Patrick McCoffey,
Hero.
James McGrew,
Hero.
David McCoffel,
Hero.
Sean McHugh,
Hero.
Jeffrey McKellop,
Hero.
Kelly Meggs,
Hero.
Jonathan Mellis,
Hero.
Rodney Millstreet,
Hero.
Adam Miller,
Hero.
Garrett Miller,
Hero.
Matthew Miller,
Hero.
Jordan Mink,
Hero.
Robert Menuda,
Hero.
Catherine Morrison,
Hero.
Robert Morse,
Hero.
Christopher Moynihan,
Hero.
Jonathan Munifo,
Hero.
John Nassif,
Hero.
Marshall Neef,
Hero.
Daryl Neely,
Hero.
Greg Nix,
Hero.
Ethan Nordine,
Hero.
Nicholas Ox,
Hero.
Jason Owens,
Hero.
Joseph Padilla,
Hero.
Robert Palmer,
Hero.
Michael Perkins,
Hero.
Dominic Pizzola,
Hero.
Michael Pomeroy,
Hero.
Mark Ponder,
Hero.
Sean Price,
Hero.
Christine Priola,
Hero.
Joshua Pruitt,
Hero.
Mahela Pryor,
Hero.
Anthony Puma,
Hero.
Chris Quaglin,
Hero.
Barry Ramey,
Hero.
Guy Reffitt,
Hero.
Zach Reel,
Hero.
William Reed,
Hero.
Stuart Rhodes,
Hero.
Howard Richardson,
Hero.
Thomas Robertson,
Hero.
James Robinson,
Hero.
Michael Roche,
Hero.
Daniel Rodriguez,
Hero.
Greg Rubenacker,
Hero.
Jeffrey Sable,
Hero.
Ryan Samsel,
Hero.
Robert Stanford,
Hero.
Ronald Sandler,
Hero.
Salvador Sandoval,
Hero.
Deborah Sandoval,
Hero.
Troy Sargent,
Hero.
Peter Schwartz,
Hero.
Christian Secor,
Hero.
Hunter Seafried,
Hero.
Grayson Sherrill,
Hero.
Bart Shively,
Hero.
Jeffrey Show,
Hero.
Jeffrey Sills,
Hero.
Glenn Simon,
Hero.
Bernard Sir,
Hero.
Charles Smith,
Hero.
Tommy Smith,
Hero.
Patrick Speed,
Hero.
Peter Stager,
Hero.
Shelley Stallings,
Hero.
Davin Steiner,
Hero.
Tristan Stevens,
Hero.
John Strand,
Hero.
Andrew Taki,
Hero.
Enrique Tario,
Hero.
George Tinney,
Hero.
Devlin Thompson,
Hero.
Dustin Thompson,
Hero.
Hector Vargas,
Hero.
Jessica Watkins,
Hero.
William Watson,
Hero.
Matthew Webler,
Hero.
Thomas Webster,
Hero.
Jack Whitten,
Hero.
Anthony Williams,
Hero.
Riley Williams,
Hero.
Duke Wilson.
Here.
Ricky Wilden.
Here.
John Wright.
Here.
Kyle Young.
Here.
Philip Young.
Kyle Young, Andrea Young skier, and his mom is here too.
Christopher Georgia, Matthew Berna, and Mark Unks. Rest in peace.
Suicide, can't take it. It's a lot of pressure. It's unbelievable what these young people are doing, what they've done for us. We are live on Freedom Corner, which I've been to a few times. And there's Mickey and Nicole there now. Tomorrow night, thank you guys. Thank you for my help with the correct. Tomorrow night, you'll have Tommy will be back there with Tammy. And we'll watch them as Nicole and Mickey coming up tomorrow on a train. What do they say, 9 o'clock, guys?
Just a couple minutes. This is the phone call.
The phone call from other prisoners.
Report on presidential election fraud in the circulates in Georgia is almost complete and will be presented by the U.S. Trump at a major news conference on 11 a.m. on Monday. This morning, Mr. Utility. There will be consent examination. They never went after those that were innocent. They only went after those that there will be a report that is going to be broadcast by Trump. The one person from the Washington Post, I believe, that was there was very disappointed on that. She was like, oh, she thought all those J6ers and people would be PO'd. That Trump was brought in. We're like, no, this is not taking time. He's the man. He's got the power to seriously dig into what it is that needs to be brought up to the street. I'm going to put my soapbox on up there and get to it. So hold up. I'm doing it. Hey, welcome to the zoo. I just came up the zoo is in here. The zoo is out there.
There's a lot of reporters there.
Yeah. Hey, let's see you guys in the field.
When they call, are they all from the gulag, Tommy? Who's calling now? What are you talking to?
That's Jeff Sable.
Jeff Sable, that's the same gentleman? Cowboy stuff, yeah.
He's a geologist in Colorado.
They're paying this.
You hear the sirens in the background, that's not the police, that's Antifa creating problems. They're blocking the sound from these guys across the street.
Wait for Billy when he gets the news someday, he kind of tells the rest of the guys what's going on, and they talk to us. A lot of them are news junkies, right?
So the prisoners, they find out the information themselves, they're news junkies, they're finding out. So this gentleman fills us in at the end of every day what he is and what they know, and then they try and share back what we know. That's how they find out.
And the rumor is that the world will be the same after the 18th, which is Friday.
How do they keep that morale, man?
Yeah.
2.5 years singing that. Singing it every night. You still love America? They love America. You love you back. That's the hard part of this guy. Keeping that patriotism alive. I think maybe it's their family. When they pick their problems, they don't feel it. They don't get better. They still know. They still know what's going on. That's just I had no idea this kind of support was going on. It was so tight. They don't know. Y'all hear that phone beeping in the background the whole time? That's counter protesters. They call and try to mess up your phone calls. You know, during the service, during the all the sirens and screaming and hollering, and they're trying to hear each other, not text each other.
I'll see what I can do. Take my feet and
Yeah, so what we were explaining is that the prisoners, the Antifa calls up the telephone and interrupts with these beeps. That's what we were hearing. That the opposition. They're across the street. Now, usually, my brother and I went down there a few times and we bought these large blue walls that separated the hospital rooms. We just happen to have a couple thousand of them in the warehouse. So we brought a couple of them down there to Freedom Corner. They set it up on a wall. They set up a wall between them. And as we sat there and everybody looked at me, I looked back at them and I said, see, walls work. Right? Because we shut them down. We didn't, we could still hear them, but it was quite a difference. So I left those down there. They use them a lot. Nicole's car is up here. We just put a new rack on the top so Tommy can get them down to Freedom Corner so we don't have to be drowned out by these idiots. But surprisingly to know for an insurrection, this is what bothers me. It's an insurrection. There was no weapons on our side. The only ones that were murdered and killed were Trump supporters. Nobody died. The AOC, she was so threatened 25 miles away. Yeah, we're going to stick around for one more song. It's the song with Lee Greenwood about loving America, God bless the USA. It's a beautiful song, and I really like the song. And the guy that made it, maybe he's not so nice, but that's all right. He's got to answer for his own when he goes through life. But he's still got a great song. Love that. How about my friends with that song? I think that's going to be like number one, Awakening, it's great. A couple of good songs. So that's Mickey Wyckoff. Her daughter is Ashley Babbitt. And I know from talking to Mickey that she started this thing going down there because she had a dream. She had a dream that if her daughter was alive, she would be there fighting for these people who are in jail. So that's why she did it, right? Does anybody know that? That's why she did it. And she's never seen it happen. I've seen it. I've watched it over and over. And I see how terrible and how disgusting it is. She'll be here tomorrow, and she doesn't want to see her daughter get murdered. She doesn't want to see it on TV. She doesn't want to hear about it, you know. It's very hard for her to deal with. But if you look at it, you can see the setup. And I want to know, Tommy and Gary, you guys, I don't know if you're involved in this side. I know you got so many great videos. But there were 3 cops up there. They were young kids. They were standing there on really shabby uniforms, not really standing there well. And they walked away. Somebody gave them a signal. I seen him. He tapped his buddy on the shoulder, and they walked away from the door where that guy Bird was standing behind there with his gun already locked and loaded and ready for the first one coming through. Then Antifa started smashing the window, and Ashley punched one of the guys in the face, knocked his glasses off, and said, "This is our house. Don't do that." But for some reason, they were able to push her through that window where she was shot. As soon as she came through, she came back on it. And they didn't even treat her right. They didn't address her wounds. They didn't take care of her. They dragged her down the stairs upside down. I'm not going to say that tomorrow when Nikki's here. I'm telling you right now. They don't care. This was the setup from the beginning to the end, just like Russia, just like the Ukraine, all the crap on now. How about the biggest lie of all? They killed us all. It's COVID. We're getting close. Okay, we're going to get ready for the last song. Please, everybody come on up right here by the TV and hold hands and pray together with this. This is a great song.
Come in.
Yeah, come on right. Can we put that up a little bit, Travis? Okay, come on, let me start. Look at this line over here.
Where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you when the fingers still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.